Our water and sewer total revenue is $11.5 million. And there are other numbers to the decimal point, to the cent mark, so I won't go into detail just due to time. If you look down on the left-hand side of the page, you'll see a list from mayor, council, police, fire, legal. All of our departments are listed right here. Our largest department in the city of Northport is the police department. Their budget comes in at $7.3 million this year. Moving right along into revenues. Again, this is just an overlay sheet. I do want to hit the revenues real quick, then some of the expenses we have this year. Obviously, the top four sources of revenue for the city of Northport. Number one is sales tax. It came in just over $9.4 million. Business license 2, county sales tax 3, and property tax 4 came in just over $3 million. If you look down your page, you'll see audit proceeds. Right now, that's budgeted at 0. That's any money that we have come in from our outside agency that looks into our audits, outside audits. Any funds that come in will be put into that account. The sale of property as well, it's at 0. If the city sells anything, we have a line item there. Anytime that comes up, we have a place for it to go. You'll see another one at the bottom, the $54,000 for the fire department rescue runs. Those are the runs that the city of Northport does out into the county. We get reimbursed for that. If you flip over to the end of the revenues, you'll see the TCRIC, that's the road commission fund. It's at 0 because we moved it. We do not add those numbers into our general fund operating budget. It is totally separate. We've talked about that early on in our term. We separated on purpose so we can do some things with that. Department 13, mayor and council. Again, keep in mind you just got off of a 9-month budget. Your district development funds are now back up to $7,500. And yes, the mayor is still included into that. No problem. Mayor and council total expense comes in a little over $108,000. Admin department, I'm not going to go through a lot. I'm going to hit, just like I said, what the high notes are. You'll see salaries and wages. This jumped up a good bit. It's at $408,000. That's not new hires. Those are moves internally. That's just positions going from one location to another. That's why that number looks higher. Just below that, the best thing about this entire budget to me, other personnel expenses, if you look there at that number, about $420 some odd thousand of that is going to go towards City of Northport employee raises. This year they're going to get 3%. We broke that down to 1.5% step raise, 1.5% cost of living raise. So we're very, very proud we were able to do that, and they certainly appreciate, I hope they certainly appreciate that. We were very happy to do that for them. They do a wonderful job for us. That is the portion of the general fund, the water and sewer portion. We'll get to that when we get into their budget. So that's the highlight of the budget for me, is being able to give our employees that type of increase. You'll also see under the same admin is where our debt payments come. We're on a debt payment schedule. Obviously, those are set. We're right on track getting our debt taken care of. We're making our payments on time just like we have been, so no issues with that. You will see below that Tuscaloosa County High School and a payment of $41,667. That is the last portion of what we owe to the Tuscaloosa County High School bond that was taken out. That money will pay out in December. So as of December, that will be off our books, so everybody's aware. Below that, the interfund loan, water and sewer, as y'all all remember, I think it was several years ago when we were borrowing money from water and sewer when times were lean to help get through some of the leaner months. We were able to bump that repayment back to water and sewer by a little over $100,000. We're now paying $250,000 back to that fund to get them back on solid ground. They're doing very well on their own. That's just our obligation back to them. Below that, the Cadence Bank line of credit, we're going to get into that towards the end. That will be paid off this year. We just made a big payment on that a couple of months ago. We were able to work it out to where that'll be taken care of this year, and that's going to essentially save the city and taxpayers about $50,000 or so. Legal department, everything's pretty plain in there. We tried to cut everything we could from Ron. He wouldn't let us. You'll see outsourced services. Obviously, that's anything outside of his realm that we get folks help with. Municipal court, It's pretty much straightforward. The biggest thing in there is the $500,000 that goes to the state and the county, so nothing we do with that. IT has some pretty cool stuff, but it's in their capital budget. Their budget pretty much stays the same. No big changes in that except till we get to capital, we'll go through that. Finance department, some of the bigger ones in there, you'll see $85,000. That's our annual audit. We're actually having that done now, so that should be to us pretty soon. Just up from that, $72,000. That's for the software. That's the Tyler system that they use. HR. One thing I do want to note, a couple things in this: salaries and wages, quarter way down, $18,000. That's what we pay the Civil Service Board. Drop below that, you're going to see workers' comp insurance. It's at $700,000. It's a big number. What they do on that, and Joseph, correct me if I'm wrong, if you're here. I see you over there. Basically, they go back 3 years and get an average of what it is to help determine what your cost is going to be. This is the exact reason why we implemented the garbage cart system. The problem is it takes time for that to catch up and reflect in your budget, and we knew that when we implemented that and when we passed this budget. We knew it was going to take 3 to 5 years for that number to come back and show like we expect it to do. So, anything you want to add to that?
No, I mean, that's correct. Our manual premiums, you have an experience modification rating that's based on the last 3 years, and that number is $130-something thousand less than what we had in the budget last year, and we won't know what the next year for February 1 will be until the board of directors of AMIC meet in November. So I expect that number to be lower than the 700, but yeah. We're on the right tracks. Our claims are going down. We're on the right track with what we're doing.
Yeah, the number may not necessarily reflect that, but we certainly are on the right track, and I think you'll start after this. I think this is going to be, the top. I think we're going to start seeing decreases from this point forward.
Let's hope.
Yes, sir. Let's hope. That's the biggest thing in HR. Planning department, pretty straightforward. That's where you'll see, a lot of your advertising for planning commission, ZBA, weed abatement, that type of stuff. Code enforcement comes out of planning. Engineering, one big change, you'll see salaries, it's up to $196,355. That is for 2 new employees. That is new employees. Right now we have 1 engineer in the engineering department, and it's got us bogged down a pretty good bit. Staff's done a very good job keeping it rolling. This will put 2 new engineers in that department to a total of 3 engineers total in that department. So I think that'll be very, very beneficial going forward for the city. And the reason for that, if you look down at professional contract services, right now we have budgeted a little over $44,000. So these new hires we may still need outside help, no problem with that. But I think when we get our staff up to speed, get them on board, that may drop pretty drastically in that area.
Yeah, so that should drop as we hire staff. I think that's based more on 6 months to 8 months, so it should drop significantly.
Police department, basically all these budgets are the same as what you've seen before. It's just the numbers are now back on 12 months, but just for everybody's information, just to run through just a couple things in PD is just interesting that you may or not know that, just in fuel and oil alone, we spend $130,000 a year just in fuel and oil. It takes a lot to keep those cars running. As well as maintenance. Maintenance is $100,000. Some of that's due to vehicles, type of vehicles, and I think you're going to see a trend that's changing to something that we think will hold up a little bit longer, a little bit better. But that's departments are struggling with that all over, not just us. You'll see the new motorcycles repair. It's only $8,000. The reason it's dropped is because the 18 capital budget had 3 brand new police motorcycles in it. So I'm very hopeful that money is not spent at all. It'll be brand new. So that's what that is. Then you'll see our communication system. There's several large expenditures coming out of that. The contract for Motorola is $141,000. Power alone, just to the police department building, is right at $106,000. They also have a line for donations. It's at 0. Obviously, we input that as it's received. Fire department, It stays the same. You can go through and look at, each station for maintenance and repair. Each station separated out, so you'll be able to see. Their big payments for our equipment comes out of capital, and I'll show you that at the end. Professional medical services, the $62,800, that's our doctor, that's on contract. Public Works, a couple things in here, several referral items, the road maintenance, Tuscaloosa County, that's the, county that scrapes what few dirt roads we have left. That comes from. Their fuel and oil is high as well. We've got $120,000 that goes towards that. The tree trimming service, that's a contract. Several things in here are contracted out. That's pretty much all your departments moving ahead, and I'm gonna hit water and sewer and outside agency all in one, so when we get time for the vote, we can just go straight through all of it. If you drop below that, you'll see the Williams and Cemetery, $15,750. That's the contract for the grass to be cut. You know, we voted on that, meeting or two ago. That's what that is. Below that, you'll see outside agency funding. The only thing you'll see different in this is the Metro Animal Shelter. It's up to $99,522. That's nothing new we added in this. This is the agreement we have in place with Tuscaloosa and Tuscaloosa County for the improvements to the animal shelter itself, the upgrades. President Logan is on that board with Kip Tyner and Stan Acker. If you want to talk about any of that, you can, but that's what that number is. That number will be decreasing.
Yeah, that number will be decreasing. You saw the big uptick just because we do have the old community corrections building that all three governments will be working together to improve and make that a little bit more. It's going to be a good usable space. Based on some of the metrics we looked at as a group, we felt like the population of the county was a good metric because it was more stable. Because if you used animal runs or animal pickups or what have you, or whatever you want to call it, you may have an increase one year of really high. You may have an all-star in your group that picks up a lot of animals, and you may have one year where you're really low. So a more stable metric we used was county population moving forward. So you see 2019 and 2020 and beyond, you'll probably see Northport at around 11.9%. That's usually our percentage of the county population. So that was a more stable metric to use in terms of funding. So that's my report.
Yep. Thank you, Mr. President. The rest of the agencies, everything is level at this point. We've already talked about in depth in our work session of looking at doing an amended budget in probably about January. There's several items I know we're going to have to revisit just to see where we are. This will be one of them. We're going to have an in-depth discussion about what we do going forward with this as a whole. Below that, incentives that we pay out, we only have two. Obviously, Project Crimson, Northport Corners, which is a neighborhood market, the Walmart neighborhood market, and hopefully you'll see when the tool store opens up, that's going to help the revenue in that. Below that, the road commission funds, a couple of things to make note in here. Right now, we're projected to receive $2.4 million coming in out of that fund. Retained earnings is a little over $2 million from what's in it. One thing we're going to do is go ahead and pay off the Cadence Bank line of credit. It's right at $1.2 million. We decided to go ahead and do that sooner. That is due July 1st, 2019. Regardless, we're paying $5,000 a month interest from here till then. So if we pay it off early, that's just going to be a bigger savings to the taxpayers. So we felt like that was a good move to get that off our city's books as quick as possible. Also in that, you'll see the infrastructure, $600,000. Those are ongoing projects as well as advertising. That gives staff the ability to move forward with some of the projects coming up due to whatever it may be, just so to help speed up the timing.
Yes, sir. That's the road projects that you see currently going on now, MLK and Charlie Shirley Road.
Court correction fund. A lot of these funds from here on out, they're all restricted. I'm just telling you what they do. A lot of these we don't have a say with what they do. Metro jails, $180,000 per year. Municipal government capital improvement fund. That's where you'll see the first line item is the $148,351. That's our portion of the streetscape for downtown. That's where we put the funds for this project. Below that, you'll see the $92,000. That's for the recycling program that we also received this year. So those two items are ready to go. I certainly appreciate what all Brooke did to help with that. Going, the gasoline excise tax. This is what we pave roads with. Y'all have heard several discussions up here, and we will hopefully get to be paving that soon. If you look at the total revenue for right now, what we project to be in that account is $1.9 million. Keep in mind that is that number does not have what we're going to do taken out, so it will be lower. And also keep in mind, I know we're doing a good bit more paving this year, but the average the city gets is only $550,000 per year. All right, I know we have a good bit in there because we went 2 years without paving anything. We're fixing to get back on track. Just keep in mind, you're not going to have a pot of money that size anymore unless you don't pave a year. Everybody loves to get a new road. For all the people here. Again, you got municipal court. All of that is restricted funds. The beer tax, that's $120,000. That goes out as an employee bonus every July. That's what it goes for. That's all I'm going to go into on general fund. Faster. Water and sewer, quickly, the two main sources of revenue from water and sewer. Number one's water sales, a little over $4.8 million. Wastewater sales, $3.7 million. And late fees, believe it or not, brings in pretty good bit of money. You'll look down the page just a little bit, you'll see the other personnel expense, the $89,603.10. That's the water and sewer portion of the 3% raise to all the employees. So that's where their portion comes from. Again, their budget's pretty straightforward. Our raw water purchase from the city of Tuscaloosa is $360,000 a year. That's pre-treated. It's not treated at that point.
And that's another cost. I want to tell people that. So you have to buy raw water, then you have to treat it,
Oh, yeah.
and then you have to get it out.
Part.
So
And
yeah, let's don't.
chemicals,
Yeah.
Just this budget alone, the chemicals, we're budgeted at $200,000, so adds up quick. At the very end, you'll see, and I hear this all the time, we'll go into it real quick. Bruce may want to go into detail or may not. The district development fees from the water and sewer. Right now, we're sitting on $1.4 million. That money cannot be used for repairs or maintenance. It's for new construction only. If we have something out Rose Boulevard and say the sewer line dead ends at Walmart, but we need to continue running that line, that's where these funds come into play. And hopefully that will be what happens. That's what that fund is for. Quickly running through the capital. On the capital, you'll see the 18 and 19 combined. The 18 is highlighted for you. One addition that we did add, so you know, under court is a Ford Police Interceptor. This is what they haul the prisoners back and forth with. They needed a car pretty bad, so we were able to get that squeezed in 2019. It's only $35,000. IT, he's doing several things in IT, all good stuff. You'll see the E911, that's already been voted on from us previously. Website redesign and also citywide Wi-Fi for $40,000. We're going to try to have Wi-Fi in all city buildings. I think that'll be very beneficial to everybody. Planning department, obviously you see what they have, scanners, some of that type of stuff. Police department, you'll see the 18, we've bought 3 motorcycles, 3 cars, 3 more cars for 19, and then we have the Spillman software for 19. Those are the main expenses there. Fire department, obviously you see the 18. The ladder truck and pumper truck, the $117,000, that's the ladder truck, that's the payment per year. Below that, you'll see the $155,000, that's the payment for pumper trucks, but that's all 3 trucks. That's not 1 truck. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
That's all 3 total. So, in 19, he's got laptops and computers. That will go in there. Public Works, obviously you know what we've already voted on. There's going to be 55th Street drainage improvements for 19. She was able to get a knuckle boom. We're going to replace the globes downtown, the light globes in the downtown area, those are all gonna be replaced along with the light bases. So you take those two items along with our streetscape, and downtown is gonna be looking really nice. Williamson Cemetery fence, I think there's a portion of the fence that had failed, so we need to get that repaired, and that's what that cost is. Water and sewer capital, you'll see the 5-meter trucks, we already approved that. Charlie Shirley water tank repair, $600,000. Union Chapel pump station, I know this has always been big to John, he's been wanting to get this done. Obviously, he can go in more detail if y'all would like to ask him about that. Then the last item, the $95,000, that's for infiltration work on 82 West. Something else that we desperately needed to get done. So that's your 2019 general fund, water and sewer, and capital budget all rolled into one, sort of. Any questions from y'all? That was about a tenth of it.
Very good job. Very good job.
Again, I want to thank April and Bruce, all the department heads for the work they put into this. I really appreciate that. It's very good to be able to do some of these capital projects, have the money available to do some of this stuff. It's very important for the city going forward. We're doing very well. We're never going to be doing good enough as long as I'm around. We always try to look to do better. April's same as me on this. We're never going to be perfect on the budget, but we're trying every day to make it that way. And that's why we've been able to do the things that we were able to do. You know, we were told early on, you know, there's no way, I don't remember what year it is, you can make it through the budget year without borrowing from water and sewer. We did that. And we did it 2 years in a row. We'll never be able to change the banks like we did. We did that. It's already implemented. It's just, we've worked really hard, so.
I'll say what you won't say. So you're telling me because they said you'd never be able to borrow from water and sewer, and you said, yeah, we done it. So now it won't be a political issue moving forward in 2020. Sorry. Okay. I said what you wanted to say. Okay. All right. I'm sorry, Councilman.
So, Mr. President, if I may, I would like to make a motion to adopt the resolution for the fiscal year 2019 general fund budget,
All right. Thank you. That's a motion by Councilman Sullivan. Is there a second?
Second.
with the exception of the agency funding.
Yes, sir. Motion by Councilman Sullivan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Hogg. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. Higginbotham.
Councilman Sullivan,
Yes.
Councilman Hogg,
Yes.
Councilman Roberts,
Yes.
President Logan,
Yes.
Councilman Davis.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 6 is a resolution adopting agency funding portion of the 2019 general fund budget. Councilman Sullivan?
I will make that motion.
All right, that's a motion by Councilman Sullivan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Davis. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. Higginbotham.
Councilman Sullivan,
Yes.
Councilman Davis,
Yes.
Councilman Roberts,
Yes.
President Logan,
Abstain.
Councilman Hogg.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 7 is a resolution adopting the fiscal year 2019 water and wastewater fund budget.
I'll make a motion to approve.
That's a motion by Councilman Sullivan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Hogg. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. Higginbotham.
Councilman Sullivan,
Yes.
Councilman Hogg,
Yes.
Councilman Roberts,
Yes.
President Logan,
Yes.
Councilman Davis.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item C is our consent agenda. We have 7 items. They range from minutes of the previous meeting, bill listings, and travel and training. Also, a PO requisition for our HVAC systems that Krebs Engineering will be handling through our utilities department. I'll make a motion to approve that consent agenda as printed. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Roberts. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. Higginbotham.
President Logan,
Yes.
Councilman Roberts,
Yes.
Councilman Sullivan,
Yes.
Councilman Davis,
Yes.
Councilman Hogg.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 9, reports of special committees to council. If anyone, mayor or member of council, wanted to give a report from their respective committee, you may do so. All right, Councilman Sullivan just gave us a report. I don't know if we have anything, Councilman Hogg, to make mention.
We did have one meeting last week with the developer, and we have some ideas, and looking forward to seeing what they bring back to us. So hopefully that'll be something that comes to fruition, and we can announce and discuss that in the near future.
Yes. Councilman Davis, I don't know if your respective committee met.
We'll meet the second Monday at 10 o'clock of October to discuss hopefully some bids on our roads that we put on our list. So hopefully we'll have those bids in and we can take a look at them and move forward with our paving projects.
All right, using some of that gas excise tax money right there.
Finance Committee's taking a vacation, or at least today.
Item 10, public hearings. We have none on the agenda. Item 11, city administrator's business. Mr. Higginbotham.
Yes, sir. I guess I would just like to say, I know I see some of you in the audience, that have expressed concerns over the, possibility of what's going on with the county schools and wanted to make sure that we knew as a city that, you would like us to review the past, report that was done in 2013. I did just want to take a second to say we do understand the importance of that, and the 2013 report, of course, has been distributed, and we all have it. And I guess taking a second to let you know that we are reviewing that and looking into that report to see what it had to say. And I just want to take a second to let you know